when I was a kid, we didn't have TV where I was, but we did have books. And I remember this story like yesterday, you know. This bloke in the States, he took delivery of his first ever motor car, a brand new 1923 Dodge, I think it was. And he didn't understand any of it. He didn't even drive it. He just pulled it to bits one end to the other, worked it all out, put it all back together, and proceeded to drive it for the next 20 years. Well, I'm not going to do that, but here we are, 140 Ks, and already the Mahindra's on the hoist. Why? Because this is my chance to see how long I can make a new vehicle last, okay? That's the challenge here for me, I guess. That amongst other things, and, you know, finding out how good the Mahindra is in Australia, and also finding out what you can do to modify it. But before I even hit the road with this vehicle, there's a couple of things I want to do. One is to check the wheel nuts, all right? To feel familiar with them, to find the jack, to know there's air in the spare. Basically the stuff you would do before you go on a trip, I hope. So I need to know I can undo them and do them back up again. That's just me. This was my first surprise. I've never played with these things before. That plastic wheel cap is held in with 2 Allen keys and the rest are dummies. They are lovely wheels and they enable you to use 17-inch tyres, but I'm not too sure whether that's the go for me, and this is the reason why. I didn't realise this. This is an adapter because these wheel nuts, because the wheels are valuable, I guess, are sort of some special spline device, which means you've got to have the adapter, and then you get your tyre lever, well, not your tyre lever, you get your lever, and you crank that open. That's fine as long as you got these. Are these a standard item, and are they found in every vehicle out in the bush? I don't know, but wheel braces are. So, what do I do? I'll work that one out. But for now, all I'm going to do is let the vehicle down, run around, pinch tight all the bolts just to make sure. I am 99.9% sure that everything will be hunky-dory. But what if I find a wheel that the nuts are loose on? Hey. Yeah, I know, unlikely, but you know, hey, I'm old. While I'm steel sealing the chassis, I will be running steel seal and Lanatec grease around all the electrical connections. Now, under the body of any modern vehicle, there's a lot of electricals. On this one, there's a lot less than most, but still, you know, it's got its little servo motor at the back of the transfer, stuff like that. These are really well sealed. This is basically as good or better than any clips you're going to find on anything, but my intention is to just give them a nice coating now while they're all nice and fresh. Will it help in the long term? Well, it's the long term that's the exciting bit. So the trick here is to get steel seal into the chassis now before there's a residue of dust or dirt or anything else. I know from experience, lots of experience with old trucks, that that's where any corrosion in the chassis is going to come from dirt and stuff like that that's trapped down the bottom, that's in seams, that's already got in there. And then you go and you put your rust preventative on top, and if it's good stuff, it'll soak in and it'll do something without a doubt. But imagine the chance to do it while it's fresh and there's nothing in there, you know? How good's that? Especially something like steel seal, which will go in and dry out and seep in. So I just need to find all the holes where I can fit it in. I'm not going to bother rust proofing the body at the moment. One of the reasons I will, further down the track, one of the reasons I'm not doing it now is because you can tell, looking around, that it's actually been done very well at the factory. There are these little bleed spots everywhere, which there should be. That's to let any water that gets into the sills and stuff like that out. And I can see traces of a sort of a sticky, tactile-y type stuff coming out of them, which means that it's been thoroughly sprayed with stuff. There's lots of plugs all the way through the sill area. What I want to do, to be dead honest, this looks like a good job already, but what I want to do is get on to a mate of mine who rust proofs Mahindras for the Rangers up on Fraser Island. He's had a lot of luck with this kind of stuff. I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions, and then I'm going to go at it knowing what I know and what he knows, and maybe the result will be spot on. So there you have it, guys. Day one, well, maybe not, but you know, day one, and get a rust proof and check the wheel nuts, and then go for a nice long drive, taking it real easy on everything. I'll explain that to you when I do it. And as to modifications, and as to people saying, where's your snorkel? Wait, will you? Be patient, wait. It's going to take a while. This isn't proven ground, all right? This is like the tracks I like best. This is one that's the least trodden. This is the one that's faded away, that no one knows about to some degree. And that means it's all a big adventure. But geez, I'm liking what I see. I mean, there's some really rugged engineering here. Really rugged. The more I look at it, the better I like it. Oh, there's the diff breather. I mean, it's about as high as most vehicles, but it's definitely something we're going to be looking at. And I'm so pleased. I got myself this beautiful bash plate underneath the something gearbox. That is just awesome. And even things like when you see the way these standard side steps are attached, I didn't realise, but I had the hoist sitting down on the side steps because I didn't have the extenders in. It lifted it up, no worries at all, on the side steps, which means it's going to protect it. Just because they're super solid, they're like 1/4 inch steel plate coming down off the body and about four or five bolt mount. So, wow, it's got a lot going for it. All right, see how it goes.